So how do you feel when a candidate asks you if you have any hesitations about their candidacy?
That is one of my least favorite interview questions, and we tell our candidates not to ask it. In general, I think the problem with that question, a lot of the advice comes from this idea that like you're being a little bit brave, you get to hear the objection, so you get to handle it, you get to kind of show the interviewer that you care about their perspective on your current candidacy compared to who else they might be interviewing. Two major downsides of that question. The first is it's quite awkward for the interviewer to answer that, and not in like a, oh, they're an awkward person sort of way. Even someone like me who's really comfortable giving feedback live on an interview, if I have an objection that you haven't really thought back on, I'm not really looking for you to engage it directly. My questions for you will be centered around getting you to answer it indirectly. And so me, saying something like, yeah, my hesitation is you don't have XYZ experience. Look, if I'm a bad interviewer, I don't find another way to ask you that, yeah, it's a problem. But if I'm a good interviewer and you haven't answered that, it's probably because you're actually directly weak on that subject. I don't want you to kind of play with me and play with that question directly, because it's kind of like saying, I'm giving you the answers to the game, and you just need to reformat it back to me. That doesn't work. The second thing about that is it's actually also structurally not great for the interview, because this is like a last question and you want to leave on a relatively positive note. And so if the last thing you're prompting my brain with is what is the problem with you, I'm now going to, even if the conversation winds up being positive or somewhat constructive, I'm going to leave having been asked and prompted in my brain to come up with what your flaws are.
Interesting.
So I just think like candidates should avoid that question, and TikTok career coaches just have to give that advice.